Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is episode 2 of my Hard to Kill Houseplant series, and today we are going to divide up and repot our Sansevieria or our snake plant so we can have a few more of them around the house. If you are new here, please hit subscribe down below so you don't miss any more of our plant videos. The snake plant or Sansevieria has become very popular because it's easy to care for and it looks great. Interior designers will often select it because of that reason alone. I'm going to jump in here and start removing this plant from the pot, if I can, and see what we're working with. It was really overwatered when I got it, so it might be a little bit messy. I've got a trash bag set up here on my desk for that reason, but you could also do this outside if you don't want to risk getting your house messy. I'm just trying to grab it around the base of the plant here and kind of also wiggle it free. This plant pot, I can't squeeze the pot at all to break it up because it's a very rigid pot, but we'll see what we got here. This one's actually very wet and very overwatered. We're going to go ahead here and lay it down on the table. Alright guys, so now that we have it on the table here, I'm going to start trying to divide it up. So these plants really don't like to be overwatered, and it's nearly the only way to cause them issues. Otherwise, other than that, they're very hardy plants and they're very easy to care for and very hard to kill. Watering every 3 to 6 weeks or even longer isn't uncommon, and they really like to have well-draining soil, which could be important if you're planting them outside or if you're putting them on a balcony or a planter out there. If you get a lot of rain in your area, then that needs to have a lot of ways for the water to drain out properly. If you're growing them inside, then it's not as important because you can control how much water they get. Now these are soaked. The roots are in very bad shape here. So I'm going to have to probably just cut these apart and then plant them individually. I'm going to try and shake out as much of this soil as I can without damaging the roots. You can see how they're kind of orange, and instead of being nice bright white, they're kind of an orange color, which means that they've got too wet and they're starting to rot. So I'm actually going to take this over to the sink and I'm going to rinse the rest of the dirt out of this and then see where I can divide it up. Alright guys, so this is kind of where we got to. You can see you got more of the roots out of the soil here, and I'm going to start figuring out where I'm going to divide this. So basically what you want to do is cut these big roots kind of right in between if you can. They kind of grow from one to the next. And you want to figure out which is the main root for which. So here, it goes into about there. I'm going to cut it off. So there we've got that one separated, as you can see. And from there we can go ahead and plant this into its own pot and it will start growing and reproducing again on its own. So I'm going to go ahead and cut a few more off and then we'll go ahead and start replanting again. Okay guys, so I've got 3 offshoots here that I'm going to replant, and I'm going to replant this main one back in that big pot again with some dry soil, and we're going to try and take some better care of it now that we have it. I'm going to fill up my pot a little bit before I put this in. I like to mostly fill up my pots with the soil, and then I'll make the holes for the plants afterwards, and that way I find out it's easier to get the right amount of soil, get them planted at the right depth, that sort of thing. You know, a room like this with really indirect light is perfect for this kind of a plant. It gets some afternoon sun through the big window and otherwise gets a nice soft diffused light the rest of the day. Alright, so we've got our soil in the pot here, and we're going to go ahead and dig a hole to put the plant down into. These plants really grow more sideways than they do downwards, so you really don't need a deep pot. You really should just be potting up by diameter and maybe going like a 1-inch pot, 2-inch pot, bigger diameter each time. So that's what I would recommend anyways. So here we go, I'm gonna go put this in. A little bit bigger hole. All right, there we go. Don't spill too much on the carpet. Now I'm gonna go ahead and fill this in with some more soil here. We're going to do this, make it easier. Now since this one's so wet already, I probably won't be watering this plant for at least a few weeks. You know, I'm gonna put it in there with dry soil to hopefully suck some of the water out of the roots and the soil that was left stuck to the plant. And then when it's completely dried out again, I'll start to water again. Could be some time before that happens. Now again, we don't want to fill up the soil right to the edge of the pot at the top here. We want to leave a little bit of a lip, 1/2 inch to 1 inch or so that the water when we're watering doesn't pour over the edges and the soil stays inside as much as possible without creating a mess. And it really just looks that much nicer when you're decorating. All right, guys, so this one is replanted and I'm gonna go ahead and start working on some of the littler ones. So for these ones, I've got a terracotta pot and another small pot that I used when I replanted my money tree. So I'm gonna go ahead and put a little bit of soil in. This is a little bit of a small pot, but I don't have too many roots here. They don't mind being root bound, so I'm gonna go ahead and fill this one in and see where we get to. Again, we're not going right to the top. We're going to leave a little bit of a lip, but we do want it to be completely covered. We're going to pack it down pretty good because it's a tall plant in a very small pot, so I don't want to have getting too crazy on me and falling off the shelf. May have to prop this one up against a wall here to see. Let's see if we can pack it straight. All right, this one's gonna get a little tiny bit of water because it had not much dirt left on the roots, but I don't want to put too much in, so just a sprinkle, and then this one's good to go as well. See if I got enough dirt here. Okay guys, so I got the dirt filled in, a little bit of a hole for me to stick my plants into. I'm gonna go with this little bit bigger one here. Again, this is a really tall one, so I'm gonna pack it down pretty well in order to keep it from tipping over. So again, I'll give this one a little bit of water. Not too much, but just a splash, and we'll be good to go. Wipe off the edge of the pot. Okay guys, so for this last one, I'm just gonna use a yogurt container. I don't have any other pots right now, the right size that I wanna use in my house, so I'm gonna plant it in that. We'll throw it in the greenhouse, and then when I get plant shopping, we'll transplant it again into a nicer pot. Again, these pots are a little bit small, but they're what I have right now at the moment. So we're gonna root bind them a little bit and then we'll sort it out afterwards. You know, if you're gonna do this and you're gonna go out and find a specific pot for these, I would try and go a little bit bigger, maybe, you know, like a 6-inch pot instead of like a 4-inch that I'm using right now. All right, guys, there we go. Give it a little bit of water and we'll be on our way. Anyways guys, that pretty much does it for episode 2 of Hard to Kill Plants. If you enjoyed the videos, please subscribe below for more, and also think about hitting that like button. If you guys have any suggestions of plants that you want me to do a video on, please leave me a comment, and otherwise I'll see you guys on the next one.